Hi, everyone. We're going to be starting our Thursday Read With Me live in just a few minutes. I'll just wait to make sure that everybody's online and watching. Hello to everyone on YouTube. And if you're watching from Facebook Live, hello. Feel free to say hi and let me know where you're tuning in from. I am currently at the Central Park Library. And I have three books to share with you today, which I'm really excited for. So let me just tune in on YouTube and see if everybody's doing well over there really quickly. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get started. I have three books today, and let's see. Okay, so here's the first one that I'm going to be reading. This one is called Just Ask. Be different, be brave, be you. And this one is by Sonia Sotomayor and illustrated by Rafael Lopez. And I chose this one because it is still Women's Month. So I want to celebrate and highlight the accomplishments of this wonderful woman here. The second book I'm going to be reading today is We're All Wonders, and this is by R.J. Palacio. So that's the second book. And the third one I'm going to be reading today is Cece Loves Science. And this is one of our newer ones. So that one's really cute, and it's about a girl who just loves science, and she's gonna do fantastic things in this book because she wants to be a scientist. All right, so let's start with our first one, Just Ask. And again, this is a casual program, so you can come and go as you please. If you want to rewatch it at any time, you can always go to our YouTube channel. I'm Miss Jackie. I'm one of the youth librarians here at the Central Park Library for the Santa Clara State Library. All right, let's get started on the first one. Just Ask. Well, I want to read this first part because it's a letter from Sonia to her readers, okay? A letter to readers. I was born on June 25th, 1954, and in 1961, when I was 7 years old, I was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. To take care of myself, I had to do things other kids did not. Sometimes I felt different. When kids saw me giving myself a needle, shot of insulin, my medicine, I knew they were curious about what I was doing. They never asked me, my parents, or my teachers about it. I also often felt they thought I was doing something wrong. As I grew older, I realized that there were many ways to be, that I was not alone in feeling different. I wanted to write this book to explain how differences make us stronger in a good way. Like my experiences with diabetes, the challenges of some kids face can be very hard and sometimes frustrating. Some of us have conditions that require medicines or tools to manage things that other kids never have to deal with. Some of our difficulties are not even visible to others, but they make us feel different, and we may do things that others don't understand. Yet all of these challenges often give us the strength that others can't imagine. I hope by seeing yourself or your friends in this story, you will understand that we're all different, and you will find that notion comforting and empowering. I hope too that you recognize what we have in common. Instead of fearing our differences or ignoring them, we can shed light on them and explore them together. If you ever wonder why someone is doing something different from other kids, just ask. And that's a really good rule of thumb, because if you're curious, it's always okay to ask. All right, here we go. Hi, I'm Sonia. My friends and I are planting a garden. Gardens are magical places. Thousands of plants bloom together, but every flower, every berry, every leaf is different. Each has a different smell, a different color, a different shape, a different purpose. Some flowers need lots of sunlight. Others thrive in the shade. Some have to be trimmed regularly, while others are better off left alone. Some trees and flowers are more fragile, and others are more hardy. Kids are all different too. Some of us are in a hurry, and others take more time. Some of us seem shy and quiet, while others are chatty and loud. Some of our differences are easy to spot. Others take longer to notice. Each of us grows in our own way. So if you are curious about other kids, just ask. Not everyone is comfortable answering questions about themselves, but I don't mind. What am I doing? Several times a day, I prick my finger to measure the sugar in my blood, and I give myself shots of medicine called insulin. I do this because I have diabetes, and my body doesn't make insulin naturally like other people's. Even though this can sometimes hurt, I gather all of my courage to do it to be healthy. Do you ever need to take medicine to be healthy? Some people do. I do. My name is Raphael, and I have asthma, which means I sometimes have trouble breathing. When that happens, I take a break and use an inhaler with medicine to make breathing easier. Quiet time helps me slow down and catch my breath. My inhaler is like a tool to help my body. Do you use a tool to help your body? So actually, when I was younger, I used an inhaler because I had a little bit of asthma. I'm Anthony, and I use a wheelchair to get around. Even though I can't run with my legs, I can go super fast. How do you get from place to place? There's Anthony. My name is Madison, and my guide dog Lucky helps me get places safely because I'm blind. My friend Arturo is blind too. He uses a cane to get around. Even though we can't see, we strengthen our senses and notice lots of details others may miss. We can hear with our ears, smell with our noses, and feel with our hands. How do you use your senses? I'm VJ. I learn about the world differently because I can see, but I can't hear. Most of the time, I communicate with people using my face and hands through sign language. It's cool to know another language. I also love reading and writing. What about you? I'm Bianca, and I have dyslexia. So I have to work really hard and take my time when I'm reading and writing words. Sometimes I use computer programs to help me. I love learning by doing things. My imagination is full of ideas, and I'm very good at making art from the pictures I see in my mind. Are you really good at something? I'm great at dinosaurs. I know all about them. I'm Jordan, and I have autism. Organizing and counting all my toy dinosaurs again and again makes me feel calm. My classmate, Tiana, also has autism, but it's different for her. She doesn't talk, but I like to talk. I especially like to talk about dinosaurs. What do you like to talk about? For me, listening comes more easily than talking, and I am a really good listener. My name is An, and I speak with a stutter, so sometimes I repeat a word or get stuck when I try to say it. It may take me a little longer to express myself, and sometimes I'm too shy to talk, but I understand everything that's going on. Do you ever wonder if people understand you? I do. My name is Julia. Sometimes I wiggle or make sounds that I can't control because I have Tourette syndrome. People may look at me funny because I think I'm not paying attention or just acting out, but it's not true. I am listening. I don't always like having to explain. It frustrates me, but it helps when I tell people that it's just what my body does. Do you ever feel frustrated? My name is Manuel, and I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's also called ADHD, and I can get frustrated when I feel the need to move around even though I'm supposed to sit still. When my teacher and friends are patient with me if I forget something or get distracted, I can get myself back on track. What's helpful for you? I'm Nolan. It's helpful for me when the food I eat has a clear label that says it's nut-free because I am allergic to nuts. They can make me sick, so I would have to go to the hospital if I ate any, even by accident. So I always tell people about my allergy and ask if any food has any nut ingredients. Speaking up keeps me healthy. How do you use your voice? I love to sing and I love to talk. I love to make new friends and be included. I am Grace. I was born with Down syndrome. Kids like me with Down syndrome have an extra building block called a chromosome in our bodies. But we are all different from each other too. I can do almost anything any other kid can do, although learning new things can take me some time. One way I learn is to ask questions. What helps you? It's me, Sonia again. Where's Sonia? She's somewhere on this page. I ask questions too. When something seems different or new, I just ask my parents or my teachers and they help me to understand, especially if my friends don't feel ready to explain. This is what I've learned. Imagine if all the plants in this garden were exactly the same. Like, what if we only could grow peas? That would mean no strawberries or cucumbers or carrots. It might also mean no trees or roses or sunflowers. Just like in our garden, all the ways we are different make our neighborhood, our whole world really, more interesting and fun. And just like all of these plants, each of us has unique powers to share with the world and make it more interesting and richer. What will you do with your powers? All right, so that's the end of our book called Just Ask. Again, this was written by Sonia Sotomayor. And if you don't know who she is, she grew up to become a very successful judge. So even though she had a disease, she can still rise up to the top and do wonderful things. So being different doesn't make you any less of a person. You're just as successful. Okay, so the next book is We're All Wonders. Now, I don't know if you guys have read the other book that she wrote, but there was also a movie too. Okay. And this is also a book about being different, but accepting who you are. I know I'm not an ordinary kid. So can we see what's different about him? He looks a little different, right? Sure, I do ordinary things. I ride a bike, I eat ice cream, I play ball. I think I do all those things too. I just don't look ordinary. I don't look like other kids. My mom says I'm unique. She says I'm a wonder. My dog, Daisy, agrees. But some people don't see that I'm a wonder. All they see is how different I look. Let me just check something real quick. Okay. Sometimes they stare at me. They point or laugh. They even say mean things behind my back, but I can hear them. So, talking behind somebody's back doesn't make them feel very good, does it? We always want to try to be kind. It hurts my feelings. It hurts Daisy's feelings too. When that happens, I put on my helmet, I put on Daisy's helmet on too, and then we blast off, up, up, up through the clouds, across the galaxy, all the way to Pluto. We say hello to old friends. Do we see his friends? I think they're little aliens. From far away, the Earth looks so small. I can't see any people, but I know they're there. Billions of people, people of all different colors, people who walk and talk differently, people who look different, like me. The Earth is big enough for all kinds of people. I know I can't change the way I look, but maybe, just maybe, people can change the way they see me. If they do, they'll see that I'm a wonder. And they'll see that they're all wonders too. We're all wonders. All right, that's it for this book. If you enjoy that, you can always check it out yourself. Yay. Okay, our last book is Cece Loves Science. Who loves science? If you love science, type in the chat that you love science. I like doing science too. I like doing science experiments and reading about different things like volcanoes. Volcanoes are very cool. Okay, so Cece Loves Science, and this is one of our newer ones. So here we go. Here's Cece right here. Cece loved to ask questions. Her mother said her first word was why. Her father said it was how, but her favorite question was, what if? You would make a great scientist, Cece, said her teacher, Mrs. Curry, because science is all about asking questions. Do fish ever get thirsty? Cece wanted to know. They do, said Mrs. Curry. Do hummingbirds really hum? The sound comes from their wings, said Mrs. Curry. Did you guys know that? That little buzzing sound they do is actually from their wings and it's not made with their beak. That's pretty cool. What if we all jumped at the same time? Would the earth move? Good question, said Mrs. Curry. I think we should investigate. Mrs. Curry told Cece and her friends about the famous scientists from history, such as Caroline Herschel, Thomas Edison, George Washington Carver, and Jane Goodall. There's a picture of all those famous scientists right there. She also introduced them to many different sciences. Geology is the study of Earth, biology is the study of living things, entomology is the study of insects. One day, Mrs. Curry told everyone to pair up. For our next project, I'd like you to pick a science you are curious about and then come up with a question to investigate, she said. Cece and her best friend Isaac were a team. They love zoology, which is the study of animals. Now they just needed to think of an interesting question. First, they brainstormed a bunch of ideas. Science is all about possibilities. Is a bear ticklish? Cece asked. Do we really want to find out? Said Isaac. Do pigs know when they are smelly? Cece asked. Only a pig can answer that, Isaac said. Keep thinking, said Mrs. Curry. A scientist thinks outside the box and never, ever gives up. That night at dinner, Cece was explaining the project to her parents when her dog Einstein jumped up and started eating the food right off her plate. Einstein, down, said Cece's mom. Cece giggled. Her plate was licked clean, except for the broccoli. Look what Einstein did, she said. I guess neither of you like your veggies, her dad said, laughing. Do you guys like your vegetables? Do you eat broccoli? I love broccoli. This observation gave Cece a great idea. Einstein could be their science project. Cece called Isaac. I've got it. Let's find out if dogs eat vegetables. Cool, said Isaac. Cece couldn't wait to get started. The next day after school, Cece and Isaac headed straight to Cece's lab to work on their project. And here they have a little project worksheet where they're mapping out what they're going to do. So they're definitely going to find out if the dogs eat vegetables. What do we need to do first? Asked Isaac. Let's observe our subject, said Cece. Observation. Doggy treats guarantee 100% participation, said Cece. Excellent data, said Isaac. Isaac and Cece watched Einstein eat. They watched Einstein drink. They even watched Einstein sleep. Sometimes science was all about waiting and waiting and waiting for something really cool to happen. From our observations, we know Einstein loves to eat kibble and doggy treats, said Cece. Now we need to investigate our question, said Isaac. Do dogs eat vegetables? I already know Einstein doesn't like broccoli, said Cece. I don't either. Let's test some different vegetables, said Isaac. It's experiment time, said Cece. Finally! Cece and Isaac tried carrots, beans, cucumbers. Einstein turned up his nose at each one. What if we disguise the vegetables with bacon and ketchup? Oh my gosh, bacon. I think bacon makes almost anything taste better. Do you agree? I love bacon. This time, Einstein was interested. He ate the bacon and licked the ketchup right off the vegetables. I think that worked. That means he likes bacon and ketchup, said Cece. What if we just mix up the vegetables with his kibble, asked Isaac. I bet he wouldn't know the difference, said Cece. Einstein ate all his kibble, but left the vegetables in the bottom of this bowl. Einstein might not eat vegetables, but he sure is smart, said Cece. Cece gave Einstein a treat and rubbed his ears. Good boy, she said. She looked at Isaac and shrugged. Now what? We're supposed to interpret our data, said Isaac. Einstein definitely loves to eat, said Cece. He sure doesn't like broccoli, said Isaac. He doesn't like any vegetables, added Cece. Not even if we cover them in bacon and ketchup, said Isaac. I guess Einstein is a picky eater, said Cece. So here they have their results written down about what they observed. That night at dinner, Cece was so disappointed she didn't even finish her dessert. Maybe I'm not a real scientist after all, she said. Our project was boring. I thought you asked a great question, her dad said. Einstein put his paws on the table and sniffed at Cece's banana split. Einstein, Cece giggled. Naughty puppy. He may not eat vegetables, she said, but he sure likes bananas. That's when Cece remembered something Mrs. Curry always said. Scientists think outside the box. What if we create a secret recipe using bananas? She asked. So I don't know if you could see from this picture, she's thinking about blending some vegetables with some bananas, and she's probably going to make like a little smoothie, right? Cece and Isaac rushed home after school and mixed together carrots, beans, cucumbers, and bananas in a blender. Are those still veggies? Asked Isaac. Yep, said Cece. They're just in a different form. Gross, said Isaac, wrinkling his nose. Cece poured the mixture into Einstein's bowl. How about a special smoothie? She asked, patting his head. At first, Einstein looked confused. He circled the bowl. He sniffed the bowl. Then he got down on his belly and wagged his tail. I think he's excited. And then he slurped down the entire thing. Look, he loves it, said Isaac. In science, not all results are totally predictable. Einstein does eat vegetables when we mix them with bananas, said Cece. And that's when Cece made the most extraordinary observation of all. Science isn't just about asking questions. Real scientists have fun finding the answers too. So that is their completed little science checklist of what they did and what they saw. I hope you guys enjoyed that book. That was lots of fun. Do you guys ask questions at home about things that you're curious about? It's always good to ask questions and kind of conduct your own experiments and see what happens, right? Okay, thank you guys for joining me today for this Read With Me Live. If you like to join us for story time on Saturday, we have a special hide and seek themed story time with Miss Lorena. It's going to be so much fun. So make sure you tune in on Saturday at 10:30, either on Zoom or YouTube. And just a reminder again, the library is open. Please come and see us, pick out some books, get some grab and goes from our lobby. And we hope to see you very soon. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining me.